What's up, Flick fans? We're talking Netflix's brand new series, Wayward. Is Toni Collette losing her mind? Let's discuss.
In the hills and valleys, there is a place where your teenager can grow and thrive.
All right, what the heck is Wayward about? In the small town of Tall Pines, where a correctional school called Tall Pines Academy runs a sinister, troubled teen industry, two girls who are attempting to escape the academy team up with a newly arrived police officer, Alex, to uncover the dark secrets that both the school and even the town may hold. And this show starts out very normal. It was kind of like a coming-of-age story. Two girls who are getting in trouble. The parents aren't liking it. Kids around them are snitching. The adults in the room at the school are like, well, we need to send you to a correctional facility, something that feels very normal.
What do you mean by that?
And I'm thinking, I've seen this 1,000 times, but then there's this other story that starts building up with the character of Alex, who is a police officer, may or may not have gotten into some trouble at the previous location, and, they just moved into this town, and they're thinking, all right, everything seems kind of normal here, but as we slowly start to discover the mystery at hand, and not just the school, but occasionally some people around them, it does become a bit more edge of your seat. It's that kind of show that introduces numerous mysteries, specifically in the first 3 episodes, and as you start to figure things out, it will keep you on your toes. There are twists and turns along the way that are fun, but this idea of institutional control and what Toni Collette's character has to offer these kids is what was really intriguing me. And once we start to spend some time in this school and we see how kids are acting, how they're being emotionally manipulated, but some of them are really leaning into what this school is doing from an ideological standpoint. But I'm thinking, as a viewer, I just want to know what's going on. Like, there were 5 episodes in and I still have no clue to the extent of what is happening to these kids to either make them act that way or what happens after they may leave the school. It introduces a lot of mysterious elements. And we, as an audience, we're asking a lot of questions along the way, rightfully so. Now, not to skip all the way to the end, because I do want to talk about what kind of intrigued me most as we were going, but ultimately, I don't know if this series answers the necessary questions. It answers some of your questions, but there were certain plot points and plot threads that were kind of left by the wayside, similar. So when the show ended, I'm like, oh, but you didn't answer that question. I'll also say this. While I like the creativity behind what's actually going on in this town, I thought that was fairly cool. I hadn't seen anything like that one specific idea that we get to as we progress through the series. But overall, it's a lot of generic mystery trope after generic mystery trope, and this weird small town where some people are acting a bit funky. Not everything is normal. You're going to feel odd if you don't belong, but there's also this idea of acceptance too. The people that move into town, Alex and Laura, impending baby on the way, does that have to do with anything? And so all of those elements were cool, but then you have those very generic tropes of not being able to trust certain people. What's really going on? Who is concealing all of these questions? What is the extent of the answer that we are looking for, answers? And you have Toni Collette's character in Leanne, who's just kind of lingering in the background. She's always there, likes to show up at the party and be like, hey, and everybody's like, oh my God, Leanne. And then you have maybe a couple of characters kind of questioning the presence of Leanne. And is there something more at play? Well, of course there is, right? The trailer gives you that. The summary gives you that. Toni Collette gives a great kind of unhinged, but also keeping it as natural as possible. Like, I will stay composed in this circumstance. There's something that happens with the kids about halfway through the show to where I'll say some characters are trying to revolt, which is really fun to watch. That may have been my favorite moment of the show, even though it was kind of out of left field. And she stays so composed and she's like, you know what? Let it happen. Well,
Just do it!
I like her character. Then they start to do the whole flashback thing to where they're starting to answer some of those questions you have about her specifically. I didn't mind the mystery surrounding her. So when I'm talking about answers that we don't get by the finale or the finality of the show, I'm not really talking about her as much. It's more so, what was the mindset of certain other characters that were included here? Because you have Toni Collette, and then you kind of had that regime of people underneath her, and I did have a lot of questions about certain characters there. Then you have the mystery at hand and how that spawns into several different questions you are asking along the way. We do get some answers, but there were other things, plot points kind of just falling into the background where I'm like, no, that is interesting. Why can't we explore that more? Maybe that's the problem of a show that asks too many questions. It's almost impossible to answer them. But at the end of the day, I do think there is a lot of creativity in here, even though some of it may not make sense to certain people, even me included at times. I like that. I'm not going to say what genre it is because that'll kind of start to spoil what the show's actually about, but I like that element included into it because it feels very creative. Why am I clapping? But Mae Martin created and wrote the show, also plays Alex. I do like the creativity of it. I enjoyed it from a standpoint of, if I were to ever come up with a concept of a show, like write a script, something along those lines, I would want it to be this intriguing, even though there's a lot of cliches in there. Absolutely. You've got genre tropes. You've got mystery elements that are a little like scratch your head. Okay, I don't know about that. But I like the creativity of it all. I will say, though, the chemistry between Alex and Laura, I did find that to be a bit lacking. I wanted to feel that romance just a bit more, and maybe it's where Alex is such a kind of a stoic, emotionless character. You can understand the circumstances, but at the same time, I wanted a lot more emotion from Mae Martin, to be honest with you. But the performances, for the most part, like a Toni Collette, who is outstanding, our two young girls, and then the character of Stacy. I mean, there are a couple of young kids who kind of get sucked into this entire thing and go. I mean, they're rolling with the punches to where just that little smirk on their face. I'm like, yeah, yes, the kids are being manipulated. I don't like when children are being manipulated in shows, so it's supposed to kind of piss you off, like these poor kids, they come from bad circumstances, and so they're kind of stuck here, so you're rooting for them to escape, but at the same time, there are certain kids where you're just like, man, bring back bullying. I mean,
What is wrong with you?
So here's my viewing experience as a whole. Episode 1, I'm like, a lot of cliches. I've seen this before, coming-of-age story. Oh, there's a big mystery at play. Oh, the small town is weird. This school is so strange. What's actually happening here? It started to get more intriguing as it went. And, of course, the middle portion is going to build you up, some things introduced. Again, we fall into those conventions all the way through, so that was disappointing. But at the same time, I continued to watch, and I continued to kind of sit in anticipation, like, all right, how are they going to wrap all of this up? This is at least very intriguing. But by the end, I was a little 50-50 on how they handled it all. I liked some of the answers that we got, and even if I didn't like those answers, I still appreciate how they were handled. But then there were other parts where I'm just like, that either didn't wrap up great, or I didn't feel satisfied with the good or bad conclusion. I don't think the conclusion needed to be a happy ending. So that was kind of my viewing experience. As a whole, I definitely like this show more than I dislike this show, but I do wish it was a bit tighter because it had potential to be something much better. I need your thoughts down below. Did you enjoy Wayward? I mean, we've already had Together this year, which was a movie where the small town weird things are happening and going on. You get those mysteries unveiled, and so we get stories like this all the time. What is your favorite story? Big time mystery, small town mystery, like that. Let me know. Movie or TV show. Drop a like, share this video, hit the hype button. I swear it's real. I don't know what it does, though. Wayward holds plenty of tension, uncomfortable revelations, and 2 interlocking storylines that will keep viewers on edge. The mystery of this town reaches far beyond the surface level cliches expected, even if certain plot threads don't receive proper conclusions. The end result is a solid series that falls just short of something special. I do believe if this would have been a little tighter in certain places, it could have been one that I'm telling a lot of people to watch. But for the most part, it did kind of work for me. So I need your thoughts. Let me know down below what you like, what you dislike, all that stuff, and I'll be back with one battle after another. See you soon.